Are you considering beachfront living here on the Emerald Coast and considering Fort Walton Beach right there on Okaloosa Island? Well, if so, you are in the right place. What we're going to talk about today is, will you regret moving to Okaloosa Island and all the awesomeness and craziness that might ensue? If that's what you're after, stick around. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore here in the beautiful Destin-Fort Walton Beach area right here on the Emerald Coast of Florida. If this is your first time to our channel, we do tons and tons of videos about everything you need to know about the Emerald Coast. That's from Pensacola, Panama City, and beyond. If you are thinking about moving to this area, you got some questions, you need some help, we're happy to help you. It's never too early to reach out to us. So give us a call, text, or email. The best way is to text us, but we'll be here to help you out in your next journey moving to this area. All right, so let's get into the content. Let's talk about Okaloosa Island. That's how it is pronounced. I've heard it so many different ways. Okaloosa and some other ones that I think sounded more German than anything. But Okaloosa Island actually is part of Fort Walton Beach. It's that lower part of the peninsula that you go down to before you get into Destin. So maybe you go over the Fort Walton Beach Bridge, which is called Brooks Bridge, head down there, and boom, you're onto the Okaloosa Island area. What is this place really known for? Well, it's that white sand beaches and the emerald colored water. It's actually really known for that 6-mile stretch of absolutely nothing but dunes and white sand beaches that no one can build on. Even though we have access to it, it is still owned by the military base. So how cool is that? You want to go for a 6-mile walk down just this beautiful untouched white sand beach? You can on Okaloosa Island. Also, we have the boardwalk down there where you've got places, there's a dueling piano bar, there's rockin' tacos, there's all sorts of different restaurants and shops that are there, volleyball nets, it's where the golfarium are. On that entire part of the island, you're gonna see different restaurants, bars, and of course water sports. If you wanna go and get in, not on the golf side, but on the bay side, since it has access to both, going in and getting a place like Power Up Water Sports, they're good friends of ours here. They actually can give you different rentals and things like that, probably the best on the island, period. Anyway, those are the different ones that you can go to. So, am I gonna regret moving to Okaloosa Island? Well, I got 9 different things you may wanna consider, right? So, number 1 is going to be the cost of living. People are wondering, is it gonna cost too much to live on Okaloosa Island? Well, I can tell you that really you're just a bridge away from going into Fort Walton Beach. So here's the stats for Fort Walton Beach as we look at cost of living. Now, what this is an index that the whole United States goes off of, and it's ranked from 0 to 100 plus, whatever that is, where 100 is the median. It's where everything kind of congregates. So for groceries, we'll say on this index, it's a 100.2, which means it's 0.2% above the national average. Healthcare is 104.2, which is 4.2% above the national average. Our utilities are 103.4% above the national average. That's right, because it does get cold here. It does get awfully warm here. Transportation is a nice 90.1, so that is 9.9% below the national average. And our just miscellaneous that we have throughout here is 109.5. That's all the extras that we get. And it's an average through seasonality, because we do have people that come through and kind of jack up the price because it is a tourist town a majority of the year. So that is 9.5% above the national average. The one item that you're probably wondering, did I leave out, is housing. But I believe it really just deserves its own little spot here. This is a real estate channel, so I figured I'm gonna give you the details on real estate, all right? So when you look at housing on Okaloosa Island, your median home price, which is condos, townhomes, and single family homes, its median price is $507,000, okay? And that's to get it there on the island. That's a high all the way up to 1.4 mil as of here towards the middle end of 2024, so we're a year back from that. And the low that we saw was 175,000, which was a condo that was purchased. Now, what do these numbers really mean to you in effect to what is it in Fort Walton Beach where it's not on Okaloosa Island? The median is 144,100 above the Fort Walton Beach median. So you are gonna pay that much more in order to have access to the things that you want to on Okaloosa Island. So what are some of those things? That leads me to my next point, is access. You have access to the things that you really want to enjoy in the Fort Walton Beach area. My favorite thing is the walk. So I've got a couple of people that own townhomes, that have single family homes, that are good friends of mine that are down there on the island, as we'll call it, right? I love going to visit because I can go park at their property and they just walk out their front door, get one of those foldable little beach wheelbarrows or whatever you want to call it, right? Little totes. And then they just throw all their beach stuff in that's sitting in something, a container in their front porch. And then we walk, 3 to 5 minutes and then we're at the beach. Didn't have to pack the car, didn't have to pack the kids up. It was literally, let's go, get out the door, walk down. There's sidewalks and everything to walk down, get to the beach access, and there you are. And now you have the beautiful white sand beaches, the emerald colored water, the beautiful weather that we have here, and you're there, which is awesome. You're also going to have access to not only that, but you have the bayside too. So there are public access points along the bayside as well if you want to put in a paddleboard or canoe. Yeah, sure. Kayaks, boats, you'll have access to be able to put those in those locations, which is actually really nice because it's close to impossible to do that in the Gulf side. You're also going to have access to downtown Fort Walton Beach, where there's the landing. And the landing is in all of downtown Fort Walton Beach. The whole thing's being revitalized as of the date of this video. So they're redoing that entire area on Friday nights during the summer. They have fireworks, they have live bands. Everybody gets on their golf cart and drives down there. I'm not sure with the new bridge that they're going to put up if you're going to be able to get a golf cart across, but I know in the downtown area in Fort Walton Beach proper, we'll call it, you can get in a golf cart and get down to the landing. And that's what most people do. Really, really cool experience. But they're building that out to like a little mini amphitheater, which you can get by from the water, but they're redoing all that area. So it's really great to be able to get to downtown, to get to the restaurants, to get to the activities, the festivals and things that are going on. Now, the thing that most people want to get access to is Destin, which is nice because the choke point of all the traffic in Fort Walton Beach off of Highway 98, which is the east-west highway, the main highway that you can get from Fort Walton to Destin, that choke point is right in downtown Fort Walton Beach. So all that traffic backs up for blocks and blocks and blocks going over that bridge. And it is 2024, so we have that bridge construction, which only makes it worse. Ugh. But anyway, if you're already on the island, it won't matter because you just jump into the end of the congestion and then boom, you're on your way. You also have access to the boardwalk and all the restaurants and all those things that I mentioned before. Really, really nice to be able to get to that. But I do have to mention that Brooks Bridge construction could be lasting, another 3 years from now. It's a 5-year project. It's government, so you tell me what that actually means. But yeah, we'll see what that goes into. But most of us will stay in at least home for at least 5 years, so it shouldn't be an issue. We'll see the best parts of that. One other part of Okaloosa Island is that you can't rent out single family homes on the island. So if you're going to purchase a single family home, detached unit, you can't rent that out if you want to do a short-term rental. You could do long-term rentals, but per the HOA, Homeowners Association of the island, you can't do that, okay? But if it's an attached unit like a townhome or a condo, of course you can. All right. Other things to know is the traffic. The nice part about being on there that all the places that you're going to be able to purchase, for the most part, are all on Santa Rosa Boulevard. Santa Rosa Boulevard is not a through street because if you go to the end where El Matador is, which is the condo complex at the end, there's a big old fence and a military gate and you can't get through it. So only people that are vacationing down there or live in this area are transiting this area, which is kind of cool. So the traffic isn't bad going back and forth in there, and then you're just going to intercept the worst part of the traffic right in the middle. So it's actually not so bad. I mean, the traffic's bad, but it's not that bad because you'll be able to get through it. Next is the infrastructure. So they are building out a new infrastructure on Santa Rosa Boulevard. Currently right now, if you haven't been through it over the past few years or the past decade, it's a 2-lane roadway on one side and the other, right? So really 4. And it has a median in the middle. What they're going to do is they're going to take those 4 lanes down to 2 after about, I think it was about a mile and a half down the road. So it's just going to be 2 lanes. And what they're doing is they're going to put a larger walkway for somebody on a bike and somebody walking, easily being able to pass each other, to be able to make it more of a walking, biking, whatever, roller skating, I don't know, area that you can go back and forth for. So that should be pretty cool when they put that together. I'm not a big proponent of it because I'm going back and forth from there all the time. There's slow people and people that don't know where they're going, but I'll just have to deal with it. It will look nice. All right, some things as well, if you are getting a townhome or a single family home, you're not there on the Gulf. Most everything on the Gulf is not a single family home, it's all condos. You will have obstructed views more than likely of the Gulf if you're going to be on Okaloosa Island. There are some where you're going to be able to look like through certain areas and you'll be able to have that. You usually be able to see the intercoastal waterway pretty well, but you know, it is what it is. Next, if you are going to move down here, most of the areas that you can live in are condos because there's a ton of condo complexes down there. If you want to live the condo life, just know that you are going to have HOA and HOA restrictions within the condo complex. Almost every single unit there does allow short-term rentals, so you shouldn't have an issue with that if you want to rent it out and then live in it the other time. But the one thing to be really mindful of in any condo unit is special assessments. And if you don't know what that is, it's when the HOA isn't managed properly and a storm rolls through or something like that and they don't have the extra money to pay for those repairs. They just go out to everybody that owns a unit and says, hey, you need to pay X amount of this assessment coming in so we can pay for the big thing for the whole complex. So just know that you better have some money on the side just to help pay that out. Also, if you're going to live that condo life down there, you're going to get a lot of foot traffic depending upon the place that you're going to. Now, if you're in the newest complex, which is called Blue, B-L-U, and maybe U with a little dot, I think it's umlau, I don't remember exactly, but in any case, like it could have been any of those different parts of it. That's a brand new one. That's mostly owners in there. You don't see a lot of foot traffic because it was mostly second homes when people got in there. But the ones that typically do, you're like the waterscape, you're always going to have brand new neighbors. They're going to be people on vacations. But if you want to feel like you're part of that too when you're living in there, awesome, right? You're going to enjoy that. Good part about living in a condo though, you don't have to worry about any maintenance. And really all of these, almost all of them, are going to have spectacular views either of the bay or the intercoastal waterway and or of the Gulf, which is just awesome. And I have to throw one more in here because going down to Okaloosa Island has one of my favorite restaurants for seafood. I mean, you're here, so might as well get some good seafood, right? But that is Old Bay Steamer. It's a really, really nice place. A little expensive, but seafood typically is. But go in there and check that place out there. It's just amazing. If you're looking for fish or shellfish or anything like that, they get these big old buckets. I love going in there and thinking I could finish one with lobster tails and shrimp and everything else. It's amazing. So it's not just that place. There's other places. You can go down to the Gulf as well. It's more of an outdoor venue. It's like container city sort of thing where they had containers and turned it into some structures. But that's really cool too. They have boats and everything and tours that come out of there now. Really, really cool that everything's been evolving from there. You have some gentlemen's clubs down there. You'll have Foo Bar is another pizza place that you have there. You have AJ's on the island is another place that you can go check out. But those are all the really popular places. There's even actually a really, really good Italian place that you can find on the island. It's actually inside, I think, a Marriott or Courtyard Marriott or something like that that's right down there. And I can't think of the name off the top of my head. So if you're like, Tim, tell me what that is, I'll look it up and I'll leave it in the comments below. But really great places to go check out there. Really enjoy going out to the island. And I think living on that may be the next step for you. But that's all I have for you for will you regret moving to Okaloosa Island? If you have any questions about anything I mentioned here, please leave it in the comments below. If you're lucky enough to be on one of our audio services, there will be a phone number that you can text right after or end of this recording. But if you are moving or looking to invest and want to go down here to Okaloosa Island or anywhere here on the Emerald Coast, please give myself and my team a call, text, email, whatever you got to do in order to get a hold of us. We'd be happy to meet with you and talk about seeing if any of these different items are going to be best for you. But that's all I have for you. My name is Tim Whittemore here with LPT Realty. We'll see you in our next video. Take care.